All right, here we go, my ladies. Good morning. This is fun. This is a very special episode of the Porn Addict's Wife podcast that I am very excited to be bringing to you today. First of all, I'm video recording this, which is very new and different, something that I don't typically do, but I am excited to be doing it and hopefully get into the habit of doing this more in the future so that I can put these up on YouTube because that's what I want to do so that you guys have more ways to get me in your life. The thing that I wanted to come on and tell you guys today, this is not my normal day. It's a Friday morning. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm in sweats and it's freezing outside and it's beautiful. And I was thinking about how I wanted to tell you guys a story of the last year of my life. Now, as you guys, for those of you guys who've been following along for a while, you guys know that it has been the hardest year of my entire life, the last 12 months, November of last year of 2022 to November of this year, the hardest year of my entire life. And you guys know a lot about what's going on. Rob has come on the podcast. I've talked about it. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of that story today because it leads into what I want to share with you guys. So last year, November, right before the week before Thanksgiving, my husband and I were talking, and I had something come up on a coaching call with one of my clients. And I brought it up to him and we just kind of started chatting. And I said, have you ever fantasized about someone that we know while you were intimate with me? And he said, no. And that was a Monday night. And on Tuesday morning, before he went to work, he said, you asked me last night, you asked me this question, and I told you no. He said, but what is your definition of fantasy? And immediately my heart just dropped to my stomach. And I was like, oh dear, here we go. And he proceeded to tell me about, yes, he had fantasized about someone that we know while he was intimate with me. And he also told me about this led into kind of a disclosure, if you will, of all of the years throughout our whole marriage that he had had crushes and feelings for other women and been attracted to other women. And it was quite a revelation. So that was a morning. He went into work late, actually, that day. And that started the last year and the transformation that we have gone through over the last year. And that was very difficult to process and to work through. And for me, it was more difficult than his pornography addiction. And here's why. Because my brain made it felt more personal. The beliefs that I had about what it meant for him to be attracted to other women, for him to have crushes on other women, have feelings for other women, it felt more personal. These were real women. So even though I had processed so much from my husband's pornography problem, this felt harder. That was the story I was telling myself. You guys hear it? Do you guys hear the story about how it was harder and it hit more personal and it hurt worse and all those things? And I remember a year ago on Thanksgiving, we went with my family. We were with my whole family. We were in Florida at this big house, all having Thanksgiving together. And I got up one morning and I went for a run on the treadmill. And I remember just being so full of pain. And I put my feet on either side of the treadmill. I stopped running. I was sprinting. I had like so much excess anxiety and fear and just pain that I was just sprinting on the treadmill. And I put my feet on the side and I slammed my fist against the treadmill. And I stopped it and I just immediately burst into tears and I just sat on the floor and I started to just cry. And I'm telling you this story because today I'm no longer there. As I told you guys this morning, I'm sitting in my office. It's a beautiful day. I'm very comfortable in my sweats. And I'm also sitting here completely healed. And that is what I want you guys to picture. I want you guys to just picture the difference between where I was a year ago and where I am today. And the thing that I want to offer you is that the difference between a year ago and today is everything has changed internally for me. A year ago, I was broken. And today, I'm unbreakable. And that is what I want to offer for you guys. The one thing that has changed my life more than anything else is mastering the skill. My superpower is my ability and my willingness to process my emotions, because that's really the hardest thing about anything that we go through, right? The thing, as you guys know, if you've been listening to the podcast, the circumstance is not the thing that hurts the most, right? It's our thoughts about the circumstance that create our feelings. And if it's our thoughts that create our feelings, then it's not the circumstance that we go through that defines whether or not we can come through on the other side. That's what we think. We think my husband's pornography problem is just too hard. My husband's affair is just too hard. It's my circumstance. I get messages like this all the time. It's like, well, my husband has a sexual addiction, so it's harder. Well, my husband had an affair, so it's harder. Well, I'm thinking of leaving my husband, so it's harder. My husband has been watching it for 20 years, which is harder. My husband has been watching this kind of pornography, which is harder. Did you guys hear that? It's the same thing that I was telling myself last year. This is harder, and here's why. Now, I'm not here to tell you that what you're going through is easy, or that you're making it up, or that you're overreacting, because none of that is true. What I'm telling you is that the way that you are affected by what your husband has chosen to do is all internal. And this is the best news ever. It doesn't mean you're making it up, doesn't mean you're crazy, doesn't mean that it's not valid. It means that you have control over it. We spend so much of our emotional energy trying to control him and his behavior and what he's doing. And maybe we can change something that we're doing in order to influence what he's doing. And we're doing it all backwards. If you really want to heal, ladies, listen up. Because if you really wanted to heal, then you would come learn this one thing, this one skill that I have mastered. This is my superpower, is my ability and my willingness to feel my feelings. And I have mastered that superpower so much that I now have extended it to teaching it to other people. I have the gift, the superpower of helping other people feel their feelings and process them and let them go. And that is what I want to teach you. This is the thing that I cannot teach you on the podcast. I have hundreds of women that listen to this podcast every single week. And I know so many of you love it. And you send me messages about how amazing this is and life-changing. And you're applying everything that you're learning. And I'm so happy for you. This is the thing I can't teach you on a podcast, because I have to teach it in person. This is everything that culminates. This is the thing that I was looking for. I found this in life coach training a little bit, but it really was something I had to master on my own. It was not a skill that I was taught in life coach training. It is a skill that I naturally have an ability to do. And then I have purposefully spent years mastering it myself and helping other people do it. This is my superpower. This is why I spend so much time inside my program doing this one-on-one with my clients. I teach them and I work with them on how to process their feelings, because that is what takes you from broken to unbreakable. That is it. This is the one thing, the one skill that will change your life more than anything else, because it is a skill that you can continue to develop, and it applies to any situation. It's not just the thing that you're going to learn that only applies if your husband is addicted to pornography. This skill is what enables you to finally move past that childhood trauma, to finally forgive your mom for that thing that she did when you were 16, for forgiving your husband for his pornography problem. And you guys know, remember what the definition of forgiveness is? Forgiveness is the ability to let go of anger and resentment. To forgive means to stop feeling anger and resentment. Any emotion that you're currently feeling, guys, I want to ask you this, and I want you to just take a second. What is the emotion that you feel like you can't get rid of? I hear this so often. We did just a webinar last week, and this was what came up. They wanted to reconnect with their spouse. That was the class that I taught. And the thing that was in the way, the thing that was preventing them, each one of them from reconnecting with their spouse, was an emotion: anger, bitterness, resentment, fear, insecurity. All of the emotions that we feel are the thing that are blocking us from the life we want to have. The emotions that we're holding on to that we don't know how to let go of, those are the things that are preventing us from having the relationship we want, the marriage we want, the life we want, because we would go after that job if we weren't so afraid, right? Fear. If we didn't feel fear, then we'd go after that thing. If we didn't feel so uncertain, then maybe we would trust him. If we didn't feel so angry, then maybe we would forgive him, right? But we feel like we don't know how. This is the thing that I just keep hitting against, is this is the thing that you guys are missing, that I cannot give you on this podcast, that I try so much over and over and over and over. The emotions that you still have within you have to be processed and let go. And no one has ever taught you how to do that. That is why I am teaching this course that I am teaching. This skill of processing your emotions, this is what enables you to confidently face anything in your life. The things that you know are coming and the things that you don't see coming yet. So maybe your husband is still struggling with a pornography problem. This is what enables you to face that with confidence. Maybe it's that you already know you're separating, or there you might be heading toward a divorce and you see that coming. Yes, this enables you to face all of that confidently, knowing that you can handle anything that comes up, because the worst thing that can ever happen is you feel a feeling. And if you know how to feel your feelings, and I promise you none of you do, unless you're already a client, I promise you you're doing it wrong. Unless you know how to do it, you're doing it wrong. Unless someone has taught you, unless I've taught you how to do it, you don't know how. And that's totally fine. But if you don't know how to feel your feelings in a healthy way, then what happens is the pattern just continues. We just shove it down and we power through, which works until it no longer does. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's like, oh, I did fine until I no longer am, until I cracked, until I broke down. Or we distract ourselves, we overeat, we online shop, we talk to our friends, or we vent, we try to just get it off our chest. And that helps a little bit, right? Getting it off our chest helps a little bit. We react to our emotions, we cry, we yell, we punch a wall. I had a client who did that one time. And we let off a little bit of steam. But the problem is, when you let off a little bit of steam, there's still all that boiling water underneath. And it just takes one drop to make it overflow the next time. This skill of processing your emotions and letting it go, this is what creates freedom. This is what enables you to go from broken to unbreakable, because brokenness is just a feeling. I've told you guys this story before. I'm going to tell you guys again. When I was in life coach training, I was processing a lot of details and a lot of emotion from my husband's pornography problem. And I told him, he was crying, I was crying, and he said, "I'm so sorry I broke you." And I said, "That's okay. Maybe if you broke me, then that means you can fix me." And I legitimately thought it for just a minute. I wanted it to be true. I wanted him to fix me. I wanted him to be the one that broke me because I wanted him to fix me. The problem was, he was doing all the right things, ladies. He was doing everything he possibly could to fix me. He was saying the right things. He was doing the right things. He was no longer watching porn, and I still felt broken. I felt broken from stuff he was telling me that had happened like 5-6 years before. And I felt broken right then. Why? Because it wasn't what he did 6 years ago that created my feelings. It's what I was thinking in that moment that was creating my feeling of broken. I actually felt shattered. That was the emotion that I felt. And I went into my bathroom and I was just crying on the floor. And all of a sudden I had a thought. And this thought changed my life. And this thought was, he can't break me. Only I can break me. Because I knew that my thoughts created my feelings. And I thought, if I can break me, then that means that I can fix me. And I knew how to do that. And all it took was processing my emotions, feeling my feelings. And I have gone to work practicing that day after day after day. And that is the thing that has led me through so many situations that I felt like would break me. And I have come out on the other side of them. This is what has enabled me to come out over the last year stronger than I was a year ago. And almost, we're not quite there, but I actually am. I'm actually grateful for what my husband and I have gone through over the last year, not because of where we are now, but because of who I became getting through it. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful that I have the superpower of being able and willing to feel my feelings. And I am so grateful that I have developed the superpower of teaching that to other women, because that is the one thing that is going to change your life more than anything else, is this one skill, mastering this one skill. Because when you know that the worst thing that can happen in any situation is that you'll feel a feeling, and you know how to feel your feelings, then there is nothing you can't face. There is nothing you can't handle. There is no circumstance or situation that can occur in your life that you cannot conquer and overcome. There is nothing outside of you that can break you. And when you know how to do that, when you know that, when you feel that, and you have mastered that skill and you have confidence in that skill, that is when you become unbreakable. I am teaching a course inside my coaching program at the end of this month, the last week of November, right after Thanksgiving, right after we have all the family holiday drama, we're going to get rid of it. Okay. I am teaching a course and it's called Becoming Unbreakable. And I'm going to teach you how to master this one skill, because this is the one skill that will completely change your life. You get to join me as I teach this live in a 5-day training, and you get to be a part of my lifetime coaching program. So it's $5,000 for this course, plus you also get to join my coaching program. So it's $5,000 for all of it. You join one time and you are in, and you get to come to this training live. I am only holding 20 spots for new clients. So for all of you who are listening, who are ready to finally move forward, to let go of all that baggage, to become unbreakable, this is the transformation that you've been waiting for. And I would encourage you to sign up today, because I am only holding 20 spots for new clients. Because those women that join me live, they will all be clients. You're joining my program in order to come to this course. And all of the people on this course will be clients. I am doing this live, and I am doing this one-on-one with everyone who comes to this call. That thing that you feel like you can't get rid of, that emotion that you feel like is blocking you, it's time to let it go. And I'm going to teach you how to do it. This is the best work I've ever put forward. This is the culmination of years of coaching, hundreds, thousands of women practicing this skill. And I have mastered the ability to teach you how to do it so that you can confidently face anything that's happening in your life. Because you know that the worst thing that happens is you'll feel a feeling. And when you know how to process your emotion, when you know how to feel your feelings, when you learn how to uncover those beliefs and feel them and let them go, then you can face anything. And that's when you become unbreakable. So if you're tired of feeling broken, if you're tired of feeling rejected and full of pain and hurt and suffering and betrayal, and you're tired of feeling all of that emotion that you're keeping inside you, then I want to invite you to take advantage today and get a kickstart way before this happens. Come join my program today. I will hold your spot in that class. You'll automatically be enrolled. You join my program today, you will automatically be enrolled into this course, and I will teach you in that live training how to master this skill, and you will leave unbreakable. I can't wait to see you there, ladies. It's going to be beautiful. I love you so much.